Well, the new idler, tensioner, and idler puller onto the car. We'll start it up in a few minutes and we'll see what everything sounds like. Nothing goes flying apart, but first we'll do a quick walk around. 2001 Chevy Malibu. Has about 300,000 kilometers on it, and just touching up some areas with rustproofing spray, the rust check. Just gave it a bit of a cleaning and washing the car. It well deserves it. You don't have to give a car a heck of a lot of time. Just give it some attention every now and then, and it'll certainly pay you back with very reliable service and decent. You don't have to feel ashamed about driving it anywhere. A couple of small dents and marks on the car. I was being asked about that by one of the viewers, but you can't help that with a car that's driven around town. I'm going to crawl underneath the car because there's a spot that I did rustproof, and I keep spraying it all the time because it's a problem area on these cars. Again, that's great for lanyards on cameras. Let's see if we can get the camera to home in on it up there. These cars have a penchant for rusting. Right up above, just to the right of that filler neck assembly. There's sort of like two lips of metals, one on top of the other, and they tend to get salt water in there on these cars, but I keep pumping that full of this rust check oil spray, which just penetrates right in, and you get it around the seams and everything. You know, the whole underside of the car is pretty much coated in oil, and it seems to be staying quite protected. I'll just squeeze out this time so I don't have the camera flying all over the place with me. Okay. And we'll do a few touch-ups on the car with some of the rust checking. Just some areas on it. Once it's all washed and clean, you can just do a few areas like around wheel lip moldings. Always down in some of the pockets that attract moisture. Doesn't hurt. So even if you have peeling paint and stuff like that, while it'll be a mess to clean up the rust check in the spring before you touch it up, at least you'll have a fender left to touch up. Just as a nice layer of grease on it down there. Just keeps building and building up. Then you can just wipe it off. Get rid of it. Even around the lug nuts. Not when you tighten them up, but on after you've put on the lug nuts, so at least it makes them easy to spin off and the wheels don't jam onto the hubs from road salts and the corrosive effects of it. Okay. Now we'll do a cold start and we'll see how everything works out over here. Take things off of the top of the motor. We don't want things kicking around. Alright. Power door locks. Still working. Hop in. You never have to press on the gas when you have a fuel injected car. Sometimes folks in the winter get into a lot of trouble with that. They just keep pumping the gas or keep turning the key, and that just keeps spraying fuel into the cylinders and the fuel injectors. So turn it on. Usually wait a second. Success. Nothing flew off. Let's check the mileage on the car. 296,662 kilometers. And counting. Let's see how it looks under the hood. Now something that sounds a lot better. This thing used to rattle like crazy when it was cold. I was just chalking it up to the habit that these engines have of getting loose. I think they were saying piston slap and things like that, but this is totally quiet now. So I got a funny feeling that rattling sound when it was cold was coming from that idler tensioner assembly, and given how loose it was, that was probably the case. totally stock exhaust assembly still on the car. These little covers and pieces of paper and everything on the floor just helps to keep everything nice and clean. The carpets are pretty clean underneath, although they'll still will get washed in the spring regardless. You'll always get dust and things in there, but just helps to preserve the car. 2001 Chevy Malibu. The adventures with this one continue. Have a great day.